because honestly, I don't remember where I left off on the other one, and it's been long enough that I'm just going to do a completely fresh start, and we're going to do a Young Gun start.
Val Selton's log, day 1. I'm excited to get underway with this new ship. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do yet. Trading, exploring, am I brave enough to face combat? Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be exciting. Here goes nothing.
So, one of the things I want to try out in this one is you can make large ships bail except for the captain. Part of me wonders what happens if I find a large ship, disable it, and then just keep pinging on it until they bail. Can you actually get a large ship to bail reasonably? Doo-doo. Alright.
Elite Vanguard.
I don't remember where exactly. Okay, you start at that one.
I knew I could count on you.
It's a good way to get started, at least. Has been a moment, so now I have to get used to the controls again.
Drill, mineral, Vanguard.
Oh, okay. And speaking of ownerless ships, we'll go get the Odysseus after this intervention. Come on. Alright.
Friend foe mine.
Not that one, that one. We got 20 mines to destroy. Oh, nice. Twofer.
Friend foe mine.
Huh? Ooh. Was that a multiple or just a big explosion? No, it was a multiple. I do love when you're able to get more than one in a go. There's another twofer. Let's creep in a little bit more. I'll be glad when I can get my beam weapon. I prefer the beam. Got a little bit too close for those guys, but we were able to get around them.
Thanks for your help.
Alright, and that gave us a little bit of spending money.
Autopilot engaged.
Any other missions in the area? Nope. Let's fly down here. Drop a satellite right about here, actually.
Autopilot engaged. Claytronics factory. Organ equipment dock. Medical supply factory. Organ equipment. Empty space. Autopilot disengaged. Jump gate. Second contact.
Alright. Double check something real quick. Yep, everything looks good. Hopefully I don't have a family member have a panic attack tonight. Did I make sure I captured the audio right? Yes. Mic is being captured. Alright. Oh, Argon. Okay. Don't want to mess with them. They're basically about the only people I have a reputation with. Alright. I'm lost at the jump gate.
Entering system. Second contact.
I don't have the ability to capture that at the moment. Ah. Alright. Actually, do I want to do that or... So, Thursday night. Because, Puma and I were even talking about that yesterday. It's Thursday night we're doing Terraria.
Entering system. True sight.
Good luck, count on you.
Yeah, so today would have been Stationeers.
Entering system. Holy vision.
Yeah, jury duty. Okay, there we are. We're speeding up. Have you ever played Project Zomboid? What the heck is it? Oh, it's a gas collecting drone. Gotcha. It's a game you might enjoy. Do. But one of the first streams I watched you played. Okay, yeah. Because I know one of my friends wants to, when they release the multiplayer of the current Build 42, she wants to play.
Odysseus. E. SE.
Yep, that's what I was expecting. It dropped a bunch of stuff. Alright. I just got out of the shower a bit ago and now I'm in bed to sleep. Well, you got a busy day tomorrow.
Entering system. Faulty logic.
Yep. Most people want to be the chosen one, but no, I can respect you not wanting to be the chosen one. Some people enjoy jury duty. My brother did, which we were kind of shocked he got chosen because he has a history of law enforcement in his background. Which usually means they want nothing to do with him on a jury, but this one they actually wanted him on for that reason. Alright. I'll be glad when I can get rid of this Vanguard. My brother suspects it's because the trial had a nuance to it, and they knew my brother would be able to be like, no, that's not the question we're having to answer. This is what we have to answer as a jury. And because he had law enforcement, they figured he would understand that, ooh, wrong one, we want this one. Sometimes it's the one on the left, sometimes it's the one on the right. Alright.
Unknown ship.
Unknown shit. Oh, hold on. Get away. It wasn't red when it said unknown. Which makes sense. Like, yeah, come out of the thing immediately. Sometimes you're upside down. Yeah. Makes me wonder if, because this is Xenon space, they purposely had it different. Immediately make the right turn.
Faulty logic. 7.
It's about here. And let's fly out to get this Odysseus. Looks like I avoided detention. Yeah, tomorrow playing Terraria is going to be interesting as I try to recall where we were at. Not that I had a complete understanding of where we were at anyway. Apparently the stationer's wall heater has a minimum requirement. Yes! And that's where you get into things like the Armstrong limit, and that is, if there's not enough atmosphere, it can't heat up the room. Because there's no air particles to bounce off of. Yeah, no, it takes something like 10 to get it to work.
Empty space.
There it is. Yeah, no, 20 is a safe assumption. I'm not even sure. I just know you have to have a certain pressure for it to be able to transfer heat. Like, it's also true about ice, where you need the pressure to be so high for it to melt the ice.
Odysseus.
There it is.
Docking not possible. Elite Vanguard.
I don't think I'm going to sell it this time. I may strip it, though.
Elite Vanguard. Odysseus Vanguard.
The Alliance of the Word seeks inquiring minds. Interested scientists should convene at our expedition staging grounds in Heretic's End. We intend to illuminate the mysteries of Jumpgate technology. All are welcome. Science knows no boundaries of race or faction.
Elite Vanguard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but I'm going to try to sleep and wake up in about 6. So what, I'll have like 7 hours of sleep to deal with jury duty? Well, good luck with that. I hope you have a restful sleep. Alright, so now from here, I actually want to go to about here. But I don't want to take a straight path because there's a bunch of mines in between. Cat better make me up. Oh, my wife would so sympathize with you with that statement. I heard a ping. Where was the ping? Oh, we'll deal with it later then. This isn't the right ship to be exploring those pings. And your ship is now about ready to reach cruising altitude. So just sit back and relax. Do observe the seatbelt fasten light, as turbulence can still be expected with the Xenon. The Sturgis will be by with your in-flight snack. And remember, hydration is important.
Empty space.
Gotta love how the space there is very violent red, since it's not a safe zone. Yep, and there's problem. Alright, so let's R it. Alright. Line up the ship with the exit vector. That looks like a fairly good. And off we go. Let's hope I can get the right entry vector. That looks like we're going to pull that off.
Entering faulty logic 1. Jump gate, fully vision.
Let's get that lined up. And there we go. And we are
Entering system.
out of danger.
Fully vision.
See if we can turn this thing. Nope. There we go. Overshot. There we go. Locked on target.
Entering system. True sight. Autopilot. Engaged.
Let's see if we can do this mission in this guy. I honestly not sure. Sad, I just had to turn her back around from where I had been coming, but it's okay. Actually,
Entering system. Fully vision. Unknown object. Autopilot. Disengaged. Unknown object.
that's a decent flight in this behemoth of a ship.
Unknown object. Laser tower Mark 1.
How close do I have to... There we go.
Laser tower Mark 2. Laser tower Mark 1.
Yeah.
Laser tower Mark 1.
Like I said, I have to worry about it in about 2 weeks.
Laser tower Mark 2.
Oh, that was nice, since my turrets took care of most of the work.
I, Numunkaret, welcome you in my capacity as commanding officer of this expedition. The Alliance of the Warriors
Yep, starting fresh.
The messenger drone network. It seems they may be making some headway with their gate technology.
So far today's been good. No panic calls from my nephew or niece. Because they had reasons to have panic attacks yesterday. There, on top of everything else, the oven started emitting more carbon monoxide than it should, and their parents aren't home. No hover. Yes, no. My boss took care of it and made sure the one guy was not bothering me today. He was there just long enough to do the work that he needed to do, and then he was out.
Entering system. True sight.
Yes, they do. And in fact, that's kind of the whole. They pulled out. They're like, oh, the alarm thing. Let's pull out the carbon monoxide detector. Okay, no, that's a problem. So they basically were told they weren't allowed to use the oven and had to basically use microwave until the parents got home to deal with it.
Entering system.
Ooh, what the? What's going on there? Oh, is that... I think I know why they all have the exclamation point. Yep. Yeah, I will patrol. I will not destroy those ships, because that would be very, very not a good idea. Do we have anything worth capturing? Come on. Why aren't you letting me look at the crate? Alright, you're not letting me look at anything. There we go. Sedative. Let's just do the mission.
Contact.
But yeah, their parents are going to be out of state for, I think, 2 more weeks? Or was it 1 more week? My brother's on military orders, so yeah.
Entering system.
Of course, I talk about the kids, and they're both adults. But they will always be kids in my eyes. I know I always say it's frustrating when parents don't see them, see children as adults. I see them as adults, but I will probably always refer to them as kids. Hey baby, welcome home.
It was crazy.
Entering system. A Tikva's choice.
I have step siblings that I first met when they were 5 through 12. They all grown up. Yeah, so you get it.
Entering system. Morning Star.
You know what? Not the Elite Vanguard, the Odysseus. What type of crew capacity do you have? 48. That's not a bad crew capacity. We could start doing some capture with that. There's a data vault.
Entering system. Heretics End. Autopilot. Disengage. Heracles. Vanguard. Empty.
Attention! Denizens of Heretics End. Please evacuate the designated area immediately. What's going on? Sir, we are picking up an unusually high energy signature.
It seems like a Terran.
Listening? It worked. I made the jump. Ha-ha! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! Excuse me, traveler. Did you hear the Alliance broadcast? I wonder, would you be interested in collaborating with one of the greatest scientific minds of our time?
You just bought the game? Nice! I thoroughly enjoy this game. Let me know if you have any questions about it. I'll try to help.
I am Bozo Tar. As far as I am aware, I am the only Boar on this side of the network schism. I am currently in the market for some personal assistance. Should you be interested, please do come for a face-to-face chat. When you have time, of course.
Unknown station.
Doo-doo-doo.
Docking not possible.
I didn't think so. Yeah, I had another friend get Baldur's Gate, and as they describe it, 3 hours went poof.
Elite. Vanguard. Unknown station. Out of docking range. Out of docking range. Out of docking range. Docking granted.
I'm coming from playing mostly Elite though. Okay, it's been years, but I did play Elite Dangerous. Okay, there's the dock.
Welcome aboard the Mystery Installation. I do apologize for the mess. I only recently escaped my split captors. Can you believe they forced me to develop weapons? Anyway, I have not yet had sufficient opportunity to undertake much housekeeping. Best not to dwell on the past. All is well now. The installation seems vaguely to be of Terran origin, but it is certainly no run-of-the-mill station. It is equipped with uncommonly advanced research facilities. Frankly, I am relax myself in the lab and focus wholly on science. This brings me to a business matter. I require someone to oversee the mundane aspects of base operations. I will be far too preoccupied with my important work. Might this be a suitable and rewarding use of your skills? No need to answer. Of course it is. I have transferred the station to you. I trust you will make good use of it. When you are not otherwise engaged, please do pop down to see me. I am sure there will be bits and bobs that you may be able to help me with regarding my research. When you are ready, of course, you have a new station to grapple with.
A Terran start isn't a bad idea. That my last playthrough, I actually did the Terran start, set up a solar plant in Mercury, and that just started making me money. Set up a operations on Mars, and my mining was in the asteroid belt.
This installation is equipped for habitation of all races, and this room seems to be some sort of research area. I expect I could spend years poring over the data contained in these systems. Hello there! Yes, I have already made some progress. There appears to be several things we can research at this facility. Please take a look.
Alright, first thing I use.
Some Terran As you can see, there is much to do. I personally find mention of this teleportation irresistible, but I leave it up to you to decide what we research first. Please note that these
Let's go storage modular hack. I guess it eases you into more than most. It depends. Like, I tried the Terran start and it was okay. Actually, I can just go. Okay. So now we have the player HQ. We need to build a storage container.
Would award you it. Once you are satisfied with the placement, confirm your changes.
And let's put on a solar just that way we can get something started.
Now, allocate sufficient credits to the construction site. I recommend accepting the estimated construction budget.
And then we want to assign a builder. But no one's in my field of view, so can't do that yet, so we'll abort assigning a builder.
Elite Vanguard.
We will undock. And hydration is important. Okay.
Odysseus Vanguard. Docking granted.
Overshot. I'll be glad when I can upgrade the ship to have the better docking computer.
Successfully docked.
All right. Make sure I have the right mission selected, which I did not.
Autopilot.
And have autopilot take us over to the party. We'll see the gate get activated. We can start to establish contact with the Boron. Oh yeah, how much do I have in here? Okay, I don't have any billion satellites, but I have plenty of, yeah, we need to sell all these and buy satellites. One thing games don't model well is the expectation and mystery of unlocking of a tech. A random unlocked timing and order might make gameplay more interesting. Yeah, no, I've actually thought about that.
I'm delighted to see that everyone has made it. Explorer, please fall into formation to accommodate the remaining attendees.
So many ships! I cannot believe we are actually here, ready to witness something truly historic.
The Terran Secret Service has been alerted to potential gate activity. The Intervention Corps has been ordered to undertake a threat assessment with regard to the potential impact on soldiers. We can only guarantee everyone's safety as long as the expedition remains close to the intervention fleet. However, we advise everyone to stay clear of our firing arcs.
Initial scans indicate some activity. We'll need to get closer for a more thorough read on the situation. Mission Specialist, approach the gate nacelle and interface with it to initialize a direct data stream for our onboard science team.
Affirmative. Approaching the jump gate. Activating scanner. Accessing nacelle.
Data stream is initialized. It looks like... Pull back! There comes the spike.
Battle stations. Prepare to engage.
Nothing?
Well then. Intervention Corps, prepare for traversal.
The expedition shall follow close behind. Mission Specialist, remain here and establish an outpost to derive a complete reading of the gate's coordinate data.
On it, sir. Godspeed, everyone.
Let's go.
Entering system. Watchful.
Scans indicate that this system is uninhabited. No sign of boron or any other kind of life, biological or artificial.
This cannot be true. Are you certain that the sensors are not malfunctioning? It has been so long.
Alright, does look like I'm on the ecliptic. Okay, what is the scanning range? Alright. That's actually a decent scanning range. Get right about here, and now let's do some system scanning. Let's head off this way, I believe is the direction.
Preliminary data has identified some points of potential interest. We are having trouble locking on to exact locations at this range. See if you can pinpoint them for us.
I'll be glad when I have faster ships, because yeah, it's just easier to get there when you can go faster. I mean, this ship can get up to speed when it gets moving. It's much faster than the Vanguard that I'm hauling around.
Unknown object.
Oh my! Could that be?
Boron vessel.
My instinct says we should take a closer look.
Elite. Vanguard.
Assistant, I think you should suit up and investigate. Your ship's sensors are picking up a weak energy signature amongst the debris.
We have too much free time. There's a Raspberry Pi project for creating more 90 TV experience. That would be an interesting project. Instead of a upscaling, it's downscaling. Called Field Station 42. Okay. And there's 3D printed cable boxes. I so hope I can get into my garage this weekend. these big enough to fly into? Alright, I'm just clipping right through those. And I had to say something. Will it let me in, or is it just visually looks like I can fly through it? Alright, looks like it's a lie. I could not fly through those gaps.
Container.
Running decryption and reconstruction algorithm. The data is woefully incomplete, but it appears that this was an outpost of some kind. There are signs of an attack from several directions. It seems that the operators would have had little, if any, time to react. How frustratingly peculiar. I am forwarding all of this to our esteemed expedition commander. Perhaps he can garner more clues. I have my doubts, though.
Newman Khaled, sir? Our team confirms that the Heretics End Gate does indeed contain the coordinates to the Kingdom End system. The timing cannot be coincidental, can it? Just after we received word from the Boron? Is it possible that their experiments were somehow related to the gate reinitialization?
Coordinates and timing are relevant, but not conclusive. The fact of the matter is that this is definitely not Kingdom End. Interstellar messenger drones are not the fastest form of communication. We do not know what has occurred on the Boron side since their last message. Theoretically, a connection between the two gates is possible, but that is just a theory. It could well be that the systems were linked in the distant past.
Yes. Unfortunately, a theoretical compatibility does not mean much in itself. If activating or reprogramming these gates were easy, I am certain I would have overcome the challenges long ago.
The split didn't exactly give you a choice over your research focus. Could this be the Boron? Could they really have unlocked jump gate technology?
Perhaps. Perhaps not. At this point, any further hypothesis would be mere speculation. Until we have more evidence, keep your ideas off general comms. If you must elaborate your theories, feel free to put them in writing.
Let's clear the messages. Alright. New message already. Pause the game real quick. Come over here, see how much it would be to buy a medium mining ship. Alright.
Empty space.
Want to get that miner up and running. Make some money.
Hold on. I think I am picking up. Oh no, never mind that. Nothing of interest here. This system's peculiar conditions make getting accurate readings rather troublesome.
I did forget to buy something.
Disengage.
Resource probe. And a regular satellite. Add to order. Confirm.
Explorer, you have an unidentified ship on an intercept trajectory. This is our first contact in the newly opened network. We have no idea of who they are, or their intentions. Investigate, and if possible make contact, but maintain vigilance.
And we want to select the default behavior of auto mine. Confirm. Okay.
Oh my! Aliens! Please, do not be afraid. I shall disengage my armament. Greetings. I am so pleased to make your acquaintance.
Incredible! Finally, contact with our aquatic allies. Bosota, are you receiving this?
What did you say? A boron? Truly? A living, buoyant boron? Are my ocular sensor organs deceiving me? Allow me to introduce myself. I am Bosota, and I can barely recall another boron face. I have been riven from my people for that long. Will you please deign to share your time with me?
I am Nina T, adventurer extraordinaire. I would be delighted to spend time with you.
As appointed delegate of the Alliance of the Word, please allow me to extend my greetings to you and your people. It is an honor to make your acquaintance, Nila T.
I do not have any official capacity as such, but it is marvelous to be seeing actual people from beyond the disconnected gates. How did you get here? Has a gate reopened? Are we connected once more? Oh, I knew it would have to happen eventually. What joyous news!
Momentous news indeed. Although we are less than clear on how this has occurred. There was speculation that the boron triggered the gate reinitialization. Messages from your scientists indicated that they were working on such a task. Please, can you direct us towards Kingdom End?
You were in contact with Kingdom End? That is marvelous news. It has been decades since we were cut off. We have heard nothing in all that time. The severing of the connection with Nishala has been indescribably distressing for all of us.
My system is in profound turmoil. To meet a fellow boron after all these years is an incandescent joy. But to find that you, too, are cut off from the homeworld is a misery.
More than you know, Bosota. We have all mourned this loss.
But without access to Kingdom End, your Queen and Parliament, yourselves.
After the severance, there was a period of chaos, until a royal steward was appointed. I have had dealings with him. It would be my pleasure to make an introduction.
We must make haste. There is much to be discussed with
Boy, do they like to yap.
Fate of curious creatures.
A born society not headed by a queen? This is somewhat hard to fathom.
Indeed, Bo-Sotar. From your own experience, you understand the pain of separation. I doubt other species appreciate the biological depth of our harmonious societal interconnection. It was worse than it is now. It used to be that all our systems were isolated. Severed, not just from Kingdom End, the Queen and home of Nishla, but also from each other. Fortunately, several of our systems reconnected to each other eventually, but none received word from home. Reorganization became a necessity. The provinces adrift, as we call ourselves, were only ever intended to be temporary, but under the Royal Steward, it has grown into a comprehensive governing body. But some of us have never given up on Kingdom End. Your communication with the homeworld is momentous in the extreme. Not a soul in these systems has found evidence of whether Kingdom End even still exists.
Unknown object.
Probably a gate. Alright, let's see here. Hi, I got a question. When one of my pilots has something in their inventory and I decide him to service maintenance, what will... To my knowledge, the inventory goes to the ship. So, if there's another captain on that craft, it will be in their inventory because it's actually the ship's inventory and you get it back from talking to the pilot.
Goodness. A Commonwealth ship. Surely this indicates that our reports are correct. The once dormant gate has indeed resumed its function and brought our province into alignment with our erstwhile allies. You must realize what this means. All the resources of the Commonwealth are now within reach. At long last, a chance to end the shortages. Pick up the pace.
I must warn you, the provinces adrift are not awash with the luxuries of the old kingdom. The pain of severance has been constant, but our economy has also suffered. The shortages of essential goods have cut deeply. Reconnection with the network may alleviate some of these issues, at least.
Okay, thanks. Since I left the ship for a short period without a captain, I thought maybe I lost it. Next time, I'll have to take a look. Yeah, in fact, let's see here. I believe it's under crew, or is it load up? Okay. Let's click on you because right there, inventory. That's where you would see it.
Entering system. Barren Shores.
And like one of the fun bits on the map is you can even go ships with inventory. Because a lot of times, like, there's the active gates that have a lot of Xenon activity. Like, we come over to this guy here. There's a lot of activity at this gate. A lot of times I'll park a ship there that has cargo drones and just tell the captain, repeat order, collect the drops. And he will just sit there and collect it. And eventually I'll head over there and he'll have like 100 items for me to collect.
With a fleet, no less. What have you been up to?
More than that, Royal Steward.
Whoops.
Momentous news. The fleet, this Paranid-led fleet, it came from the dormant gate in watchful gaze. They have communicated with Kingdom End.
Oh wow, I actually sent it in a tumble.
Communication. We are connected to the network once more.
My word, the if.
The delegation seeks an audience. May I?
Yes, of course. There is so much to discuss, so much to consider.
Royal Steward, would it be in order for me to accompany the delegation?
I'm sure you have other things to do. Diplomacy is not the same thrill as exploration.
Please, Royal Steward, with your permission.
Of course, Neelity. By all means, accompany the delegation.
Explorer, you have displayed some usefulness thus far. I'm tasking you with joining us in meeting the Royal Steward. I may have need of your insights.
You have clearly made an impression on the expedition commander. I sense you are becoming more central to his plans. Join the delegation. Watch this Royal Steward. I have some experiments to attend to, though I shall keep an eye on you.
Is it ever going to stop spinning?
Elite Vanguard. Docking granted.
At least it stopped spinning. That's right. I don't have the docking computer yet. So I gotta do it properly.
Successfully.
Oh, capital ship. In all my days. A perfect equilibrium of function and ergonomics. And with such flair. My current abode is penurious in comparison.
And this is where the bad writing is bad.
My ropalium near explodes with the joy of welcoming esteemed visitors. This historic occasion is the first of its kind. I am Leda V, Royal Steward of the Provinces Adrift. On behalf of Her Majesty the Queen, and as her loyal servant, it is my profound pleasure to welcome an emissary of the Paranid Empire. And once business is out of the way, I insist you join me on a more informal tour.
Esteemed Royal Steward Leda Wee, thank you for your most gracious welcome. You must forgive me. I, Numunkaret, am no Empire emissary. I represent the Alliance of the Word, a diplomatic reform and scientific organization funded by various races across the network.
My. But do you have letters patent from the Empire? The provinces adrift are in dire straits. We must negotiate terms of assistance.
I am compelled to reiterate, I do not speak for the Paranid authorities. Though we do bring news which may bring joy. We have been in communication with Kingdom End. Limited, fragile communication, but communication nevertheless. Some months ago, we received word from your homeworld. It was heartening to discover that the Boron Core has survived the shutdown, and learn of their most ambitious endeavor. Their entire scientific resources are focused on understanding and manipulating Jumpgate technology. We humbly request your permission to investigate the dormant Jumpgates in your territory, and to set up a scientific outpost in the region, should that be required.
There are so many implications to consider. This really is momentous. I am afraid I must decline your request, for now. We cannot be precipitous.
By the glistening waters of Nishala!
I fail to understand. We ask for no more than your permission. We certainly have no wish to be a drain on your resources.
Leader Wee, they are trying to connect us with Kingdom End. They have communications.
Neela T, this obsession with finding home is entirely yours. You may have the luxury of gallivanting around the galaxy in search of miracles, but I have responsibilities. I have the welfare of billions of souls to consider. Our
Yaka.
outside network with all its resources has been unable to connect with our homeworld. The priority at this juncture is the welfare of our people, and I shall not be distracted from that.
Honored host, we will of course expedite communications with the governments of the network. I am sure emissaries are preparing as we speak. Yet, if we could simply...
Enough, please. I understand your request, but I do not think you understand what is at stake. Please have patience, but for now, the matter is settled.
Outrageous! The Boron Queen's government itself is racing to reconnect, and you decline to facilitate? What kind of royal steward are you?
Please?
There is nothing to be gained from trading insults.
This is absurd. Our work is of the utmost importance. Your obduracy is beyond me. I shall take my leave. Heading to the dock, awaiting pickup.
Ah, the silent one from our disappointing introduction. Your expedition commander hardly seemed in the mood for positive solutions. I cannot imagine that you presume to speak for him.
Assistant, perhaps uncovering more context first may help with your solutioneering.
From time to time, I spend the waking nights pondering the very same question. It would be misleading to cast blame for all our miseries on the Great Shutdown. In fact, when we were first riven from the wider network, the vast majority of our boron systems remained connected between themselves. Isolated from external threats, we commenced a new age of reflection and scientific endeavor. And while this period of peace brought the wealth of Kingdom End to fabulous new heights, we were not complacent. Resources were stockpiled throughout the Queendom, a precautionary measure. Oh, we thought we were prepared, yet in truth we were far from it. We Boron are inherently connected to each other, you see? We thrive on a collective sort of affinity. Once that connection was severed, each system found itself in complete isolation. Things fell apart quite quickly, I'm afraid to say. Productivity collapsed catastrophically. Stockpiles were depleted far more rapidly than anticipated, and there was no way to replenish them. After years of disarray, Great Reef finally reconnected with barren shores. Later, it was joined by several other systems. The provinces adrift were founded, but by then the damage was done. We still lacked crucial resources. I contend that it was the collective psychological toll of the severance that caused this, more so than the evident logistical challenges posed by the shutdown. regret my approach at our meeting. You see, I have not hosted a diplomatic function in decades. Unfortunately, I am simply not in the habit of communicating with anyone other than Boron, you see. We Boron converse amongst ourselves, relying on complex structures of pheromones, not just mere words. There was so much to communicate, so much to cogitate upon, yet the words failed to convey my meaning. You must imagine it like painting an ocean, yet having only a single shade of blue with which to do so. You are correct, of course. There is no harm in reaching for common ground. I am embarrassed to say that our defensive capabilities are woefully inadequate. Ashamedly so. Our economy is so fractured. We struggle to construct anything larger, perhaps, than a frigate. We cannot even resource and operate a full-scale shipyard. For half a century of isolation, we Boron have had little need for a comprehensive military. I fear that we are wholly unprepared for the myriad dangers lurking beyond the gate. And should word spread of the valuable equipment and facilities proposed by the Alliance of the World, it might be akin to painting a target upon ourselves for any nefarious actors in the vicinity. One moment. I have, even now, received word of split incursions. If we had anything of value to loot, we would not be discussing skirmishes. They would descend upon us in hordes.
That certainly could have gone better, but all may not be lost.
The Protectorate has determined that this system poses no threat to the citizens of Sol or the wider network. Our orders are to deploy to a position of more strategic importance. Still, stay alert. None of us know what might be lurking out there.
The Alliance of the Ward thanks you for your support. From here on, our military friends are needed elsewhere.
The steward and I have had our differences in the past, but I had no idea he would be so stubborn. I am so very sorry you had to witness that embarrassingly discordant display. Leader We and I disagree on much, but he is not a bad person. You know, he is just scared. Oh, you took note of that, did you? Time after time I approach Leader We for the resources to find our way back home, but he has come to the conclusion that efforts spent on this endeavor come at an immediate cost to our people. I would hate for you to get the impression that I do not care for my fellow Boron here. Out on the fringes, I am truly seeking to make a difference for the people. Serving the Queen's subjects is a duty for me. You see, I do not like to draw too much attention to it, but I myself am the progeny of stranded minor royals. Before you bow or anything like that, I am not part of the direct line of succession, and that is not how our monarchy works in any case. Yet, it drives me to find a path back home, for the people to once again delight in a reunited, merry realm. I think he is scared of falling short. He carries the weight of the expectations of the entire provinces. He wants to keep everyone safe, and I think he fears that your expedition will exacerbate an already dangerous situation. Yes, fraught with danger, the provinces lie uncomfortably close to Kark territory. When Sanctuary of Darkness first connected to the provinces, it triggered regular attacks. We barely managed to protect ourselves with the meager military that we could cobble together. Thankfully, the waves have calmed for now. The Kark incursions eventually ceased. All attempts to communicate with these enigmatic creatures have failed, so I would hesitate to call it a ceasefire. It is more of a lull in hostilities. As you can imagine, the situation remains rather fragile. Pleasant travels.
And let's go talk to, what's his face? Him.
mission. Withholding his consent, we shall continue without it if necessary. You may have a point. Perhaps his simple mind cannot grasp all the variables at play. I wonder if we can help him to see the bigger picture. Yes, you are right. That much is obvious. I cannot help but wonder if there's more to the issue than that. Perhaps he is overly attached to his role as Prime Administrator of the provinces. A reunion with King Demend would inevitably result in him having to relinquish power and standing. Well, we are a scientific expedition, so our offensive options are rather limited in that regard. What we can do, however, is make assurances that any valuable equipment that is transported into Boron space will be well guarded, making it an unappealing target. Furthermore, I am prepared to place several scouts at his disposal and to establish a network of satellites in watchful places. That will give the split cause to reconsider an incursion into the provinces. The situation with this steward does indeed seem resolvable, though I fear he wears my patience thin. Take this matter in hand. Go and see the fool. Perhaps you can change his mind.
Ah, the silent one from our disappointing introduction. Well, well, this is an unexpectedly kind offer from the Alliance of the Word. I must admit that security assistance in these uncertain times would indeed be a welcome reassurance. Permanently? Wiping them out is your solution? To simply exterminate a species? I understood that you entered our provinces in pursuit of scientific enlightenment, not bloodshed. Do these fins look like Terran appendages to you? Not all the inhabitants of this galaxy are driven by unmoderated barbarity. No thank you. If we can maintain peace, we shall do so. This is all terribly challenging. My instinct is that your expedition is honest in its intent. However, I find your judgment questionable. Well, I feel that I must allow you to proceed in your mission. However, I ask of you, do not make me regret this. With the gate and watchful gaze reactivated, to our knowledge, only 3 more dormant gates remain in
Well, that's a different dialogue tree than I have taken before.
Fantasy, another in barren shores. The final one was discovered by scouts in Sanctuary of Darkness. If Sanctuary of Darkness sounds foreboding, you may find that the name is fitting. It is host to a significant Ka'ak infestation. Even uttering the name makes my fins tingle. Yet I must remain firm on the matter. Do not, under any circumstances, engage with the Ka'ak. Every interaction with them results in horrific conflict.
You have our word, Leader Wee. We shall do everything in our power to avoid undue provocation.
Thank you. And may I bestow upon you a gift? We have prepared for you a fighter ship. A humble gift, but hopefully it will be of use to you in the times ahead.
Explorer, you have done well to secure access for us to continue our mission. Please, claim the scout ship as your own. Serve you well.
Yeah, there it is.
Marco.
We need to investigate the dormant gates to formulate the next step of our expedition.
I am already familiar with the gate in Ocean of Fantasy. If you supply me with the necessary equipment and provide me with a few pointers as to what exactly I am to do, it would be my deepest pleasure to assist.
Excellent. The Alliance shall investigate barren shores. That only leaves the matter of the final gate, the location of which is somewhat more precarious. Explorer, you have excelled thus far. Put that new fighter of yours to good use, and find the Sanctuary of Darkness. It seems that you are best suited to this task.
All the times I dreamt of being reunited with my fellow Boron, it never crossed my mind that they might be in such impoverished circumstances. I know that the Alliance has received communications from Kingdom End, but those were dispatched decades ago. Hopefully, they have fared better than the Boron here. I am curious about the contents of their message. Just how much of their preliminary findings have they shared with their Alliance counterparts? Once we have gained access to both gates' data, maybe the Alliance really intends to conduct experiments from our side too. Trying to manipulate gates would be an incredibly involved undertaking. Yet it seems as though Numankaret is single-minded about the whole endeavor. Can you imagine the possibilities that would be open to us if we could manipulate these gates at will?
Thanks to the newly opened trade routes, we have commenced rebuilding our shipyard. You are, of course, most welcome to aid us in our undertaking. Your efforts will, of course, be lucratively compensated.
Entering system. Sanctuary of Darkness.
Sanctuary of Darkness. According to our archives, there was once a Xenon presence hereabouts in the network. I wonder what befell them.
Oh, is that so? Then we were quite lucky that our systems were not connected directly to a Xenon stronghold. There is no way we would have survived, given the state of our military.
Now, see if you can locate the inactive gate in this system.
Be careful. Take great care when navigating. We must honor our word and avoid the cut. You will also need to be cautious of the region's other hazards. I recommend that you stick close to the asteroids. They seem to be an exceptional indicator of where your ship will not be armed.
Autopilot. Engage.
Alright.
Autopilot. Engaged. Autopilot. Disengaged. Danger.
Okay, I do have nav beacons on this guy.
I have arrived at my designated inactive gate. I shall commence taking readings immediately.
Empty space. Unknown object.
Alright, nav beacon, nav beacon.
Empty D-Space.
As soon as we get to that point there, we'll drop another one.
Unknown object.
There it is. Approach the jump gate in the cell. Try to get a reading. Each jump gate has 2 pairs of micelles. They act as caches for storing operational data, among many other things. They're still not very familiar with this technology. They created it, but thanks to recent scientific advancements, we're able to make sense of some of the information that we are retrieving. It seems apparent that some of the data likely represents the coordinates of other jump gates. Whether this means that these gates were connected in the distant past is mere conjecture. Perhaps the builders had reasons unknown to us for certain gates to hold, special compatibility. The vast majority of the data in these caches remains a vexing mystery to us all.
Danger.
Can you scan faster, please?
Gathering everything we can access from this micelle. Move on to the one on the opposite side. Yes, some of this data looks rather promising. I'm forwarding all of this to our science team as we speak.
Come on.
Oh my! I'm picking up a worrisome fluctuation in energy signatures.
Forager. Forager. Jump Forager. Danger. Forager. Container.
fought bravely, Explorer.
Yes. Your display of skill was altogether impressive. I just hope this commotion does not result in a more severe and unwelcome reaction.
Our science team has pored over the data that Neela T was able to lift from the cache. While we have not yet completed our examination of the Sanctuary of Darkness cache, it is quite obviously the most promising of the gates. Despite the additional challenges that Ka'ak will represent,
More dangerous, perhaps. But I'm afraid that things are not going well in Ocean of Fantasy either. The system's planet is devastated and completely uninhabitable.
perhaps once the provinces have re-established their economy, they can attempt some terraforming. For now, this expedition needs you to map out safe passage for a larger fleet to navigate through Sanctuary of Darkness. You can use nav beacons to determine an appropriate route. Just stay clear of the Ka'ak installations. And other hazardous regions, obviously. For a better overview of the task in hand, do not hesitate to consult your map.
And finally, a station manager. Okay.
Autopilot disengaged. Danger.
All right.
Found something out here.
Auto save right when I push a command. Alright, so we want you to come over here. And we want you to go and dock with that guy. And how are you looking? Transaction log? Or you haven't done anything yet? Let's go check you out.
You know, for the longest time, the community of planets thought the Ka'ak had been eradicated by their joint efforts. Recent attacks on solitary miners, and now this, proved this notion was overly optimistic.
Alright. Come on, deploy the beacon.
Yes, it looks like you have found a route. Nicely done, Explorer. Everyone, move in. The expedition shall now establish a scientific outpost. This may be the beginning of a most fruitful phase in our journey together.
Alright, so actually let's make this guy the active one.
Mako. Autopilot. Engaged.
Okay, and now that we have a pilot in it, can even... Don't need that, 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 and don't need that.
Entering system. Great Reef.
Alrighty. So...
Entering system. Barren Shores.
There we go. At least we're now flying around at 5 kilometers a second in a maneuverable ship.
Entering system. Watchful gaze.
What are you up to?
Jump gate. Heretics End.
All right. Alright, I'm not sure how those showed up, but they seem to be okay anyway, so we'll just let them go. Let's see, what is the loadout here? Gatling cannon and ion cannon. Does only shield damage. That one else. So does damage and then it does hull damage after it goes through the shield. Okay. And oh, one of each. Okay. Six nav beacons left, 2 flares. Yeah.
Entering system. Heretics End.
Alright. How are you doing? You should be getting...
Entering system. Morningstar.
We've established a perimeter around the inactive jump gate. Now we are commencing the construction of an outpost. Do not elevate your hopes quite yet. Experimentation shall begin soon, but jump gate technology is very alien and highly volatile. We do not know for certain whether we can ever successfully force a connection, particularly without real-time coordination with our Kingdom and counterparts. Nonetheless, we have an ideal candidate gate for experimentation. The Alliance of the Word has an obligation to our cousins in Kingdom and to try our utmost. These technological marvels have eluded our understanding to date. Something about the interfaces remains stubbornly out of reach. The final spark. In any case, Explorer, congratulations. You have performed your part, and you have done so unimpeachably. We will keep you updated on our progress in the coming years. And, if fate wills it, you may one day find your name in the annals of the great explorers and scientists.
Entering system. True sight.
I knew I could count on you.
Entering system. Holy vision.
Pirate problems?
I knew I could count on you.
Entering system. Pontifex's claim.
And we'll just start collecting.
I could count on you.
Entering system. Ice mists.
knew I could count on you. I knew I could count on you.
Entering system. Unholy retribution.
Yeah, I know. Doo-doo-doo.
Entering system. Trinity Sanctum. Entering system. Bright Promise.
No.
Entering system. Profit Center Alpha. Entering system. Silent Witness. Entering system.
Whoa. That's a lot. I don't want to piss off the Argo faction. Not yet.
First choice.
I don't have the infrastructure for a lot of these yet.
I knew I could count on you.
Entering system. Argon Prime.
No time limit.
Assistant, you must forgive my absence in your most recent exploratory endeavors. It is just, I have been somewhat preoccupied with my own observations. When did Numankaret say the Alliance of the Word plans to conclude their experiments?
Well, the expedition leader did suggest that he would keep us up to date over the coming years.
What? Years, you say? That is... Oh my, that is rather disappointing. I had hoped to contribute to their experiments right away. Well, since you are already running errands in Boron space, would you mind assisting me in my personal research? Ever since my tentacles first grasped the scientific equipment in this research installation, I have been utterly fascinated by the Great Reef Nebula. Even if that pesky Sagaris Pioneers vessel is complicating accurate measurement collection at the moment. You see, I I have identified several neutron stars, magnetars in fact, which pulse in an oddly specific way. One could be an anomaly. Two might be a coincidence, but I have already identified a potential third. I need you to verify my observations, independently. To that end, I have compiled a list of positions in Great Reef that I need you to visit. Please do forgive me if I appear somewhat excitable. There is a chance that this could point to a discovery of immeasurable significance.
Vosotar has informed me of your exciting plans. You must let me accompany you. In fact, I will not take no for an answer. The Alliance is in the midst of their preparations. I have to say, the deluge of scientific jargon leaves me cold. I much prefer action.
Alrighty, I'm going to call it for the night. I'm definitely starting to feel tired. So, thank you for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you next time.